Hi, my name's Simon from CramTheExam.com and welcome to another walkthrough video. In this video we're going to have a look at another CAE listening exam question. In this case part 4, explaining what the answers are and why the answers are the answers. You can find the link to this question on in the video description below, and it's a link to the excellent website engexam.info, which is full of resources for you to help you get ready for your CAE and Matura Advanced exams. Okay, part 4, multiple matching question. Quite a tricky question. You've got to catch not just only linking vocabulary and linking context, but you've got to make decisions as well as regards what is the main issues, what's the main topics. Because you're going to hear for each speaker, you're going to hear a number of different things which could relate to a number of different answers. But you're going to ask yourself the question, what is the main issue that's being talked about? And if you get that correct, you're going to get the correct answer. So the great thing about this website, engexam.info, is that the tape script is annotated, underlined, to show you where the answer is. So you don't really need me, but I'm going to go through it anyhow, just to go through any clear up any issues you might have, go through interesting pieces of vocabulary, and do a little bit more talking about the exam. So let's begin. Task 1. For questions 21 to 25, choose from the list A to H each speaker's present occupation. So as you can see, we've got our correct answers there. So let's have a look. Speaker 1 is B, which is a pensioner. So where is the vocabulary link to being a pensioner? And as it's underlined for question number 21, it says, now we've retired here. If you have retired, it means by definition that you are a pensioner. So that's the vocabulary link for question 21. For question 22, the answer is E, which is a diplomat. So where's our vocabulary link? The vocabulary link is this one word here, which is a difficult question. When you've got to catch the vocabulary link, which is one word, well, mind you, it was one word for this one here as well, really, retired. Here it's the same issue with one word, and that is embassy. If you work at an embassy, you are a diplomat, or at least from the list, the only one that's likely to work is a diplomat. Business people, doctors, farmers, pensioners, students, engineers, architects, by definition, don't always or primarily work at embassies, whereas diplomats do. And that's why that is our answer. For speaker number 3, our answer is a doctor. And the reason why is because of this one word here, a location of work, a surgery. 2 people work in surgeries, 2 sets of occupations work in surgeries. One set is politicians, the other set is doctors or anything to do with the medical profession. So that's why our answer is a doctor, because politician isn't on this list. Speaker number 4 is G, which is an engineer. Why is it an engineer? Because he talks about his routine job maintaining equipment in a water purification plant. If you're maintaining equipment, it must mean that you're something to do with engineering, mechanics, something along those lines. And out of the list that we've got here, the only one that makes sense is an engineer. Now you might think student, possibly, but that is too much of a conceptual or vocabulary link, because doing a very routine job, students don't do jobs, students study. And lastly, for question number 5, the answer is A, which is a business person. So where do we get this idea of business? It says here, so I began in the small ways, sending local handicrafts and produce back to small specialist shops. It took off. In other words, it became successful. If something takes off, idiomatically, it goes up very, very quickly. That's more literally like an aeroplane, but idiomatically it means it becomes very successful very quickly. It took off, and now I supply large department stores. If you supply department stores, it means that you're buying and selling, means that you're involved in business. There are a number of things here. For example, here I've been thinking of taking early retirement, so that's there to try and catch you out on pensioner, and there's a few others as well. If you look through the text, the tape script, you'll see where the other traps are. Okay, so let's have a look at the second set of questions. Let's move this across over here and pop that down. I've still got a bit more room. Perfect. There we go. So, for questions 26 to 30, choose from list A to H the main advantage each speaker mentions about living where they do. Advantages. Speaker number 1, worked in a hospital. There's that trap for doctor for the first question. The fact that you work in a hospital, and there's even one there, personnel to an engineering firm. So there's another trap there as well. Anyway, back to the question. After mentioning that they've retired here, we don't have to go home at the end of summer and face the harsh means tough, difficult, English weather, winter, and that's the greatest bonus without a doubt. So there's our clear advantage, greatest bonus without a doubt. So the reason they moved to this place is because of, as it says here, a good climate. So it doesn't have that awful winter. Although the winter's not that bad, but anyway. Speaker 2. Speaker 2, the answer is F, which is varied sports. And that comes straight away after this answer. The embassy, which is our answer to the first question. Pool and squash courts are quite reasonable, and we have access to other facilities locally. And then the conversation goes on to talk about tournaments through the year. Phone call over. Now, where were we? That's right, we were talking about speaker or F being varied sports. So pool and squash courts, quite reasonable, access to other facilities locally. And then it goes on to talk about tournaments in a year. So the general idea or the main topic on conversation here is sporting related events, sporting related facilities. Although there is a twist there at the end, but it's only one sentence which talks about old buildings or architecture. Speaker number 3, the answer is G, which is a high salary. What's our vocabulary link? He talks about being a doctor. I have to admit, very reasonable remuneration for the hours I have to put in, and that's the key. So that's our advantage link. That's the key. And the reason why, it allows me to put something by, save up some money for something else. Now, interesting thing about the language here, a very reasonable remuneration. And you might think reasonable is not high, but we say reasonable as regards salaries as a method of understatement, gentle understatement. So when people say this, people don't go, oh, reasonable salary. People go, reasonable salary. Or remuneration is a synonym for payment. Payment for services provided, payment for the job that you've done. So reasonable is positive. Positive in the context of being high or very, very good. So that's our vocabulary link there. For speaker number 4, the answer is E, which is interesting challenges. And we get that here towards the end of the speech, little clip. But I stayed on because the job provides so much variety. I head a team of workers now on a new project, things I wouldn't normally get to do at my age. So 2 bits here, so much variety, things I wouldn't normally get to do at my age. This links back to interesting challenges. And lastly, speaker 30, which is B, which is friendly people. She talks about being a businesswoman, and then it says, but I love being here because the locals are so easy to get on with. If someone's easy to get on with, it means that you get on with them well and that it is easy to do so, which means that they are friendly people, which is why the answer is B. That's why I think the answers are the answers. I agree with engexam.info, who very kindly underlined the tape script to help you develop your listening skills. If, however, you have any questions at all, you agree or you disagree with anything that I've said, please leave a comment in the comments section below and I will get back to you. I love having that conversation with you guys. Okay, I'll be back again with another walkthrough video soon, so I'll see you then.